And I'm looking around and I'm like, aren't you the one in charge of getting us home safely? And these poor drunk girls are just like, oopsies. So I guess I'm the mother of the group now. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I missed you so much, or welcome to it if this is the first time you are seeing my face. My name is Jacy, and it has been a hot minute since I sat down in the hot seat and gave you guys a juicy story time. I have been putting my heart and soul over into my vlog channel, so please go check that out. I would really appreciate it. I did this really big 30 before 30 bucket list, and I spent a lot of time and money into it, and then I've been traveling the world. So took a little break from this channel, but I am back with some fun story times for you guys coming your way. I've been living a good life. I've been living my best life, but I really just miss sitting down and chit-chatting with you guys. So if you like this, if you want to see more of me, then make sure to like and subscribe so I know to not give up on my YouTube dreams just yet, because I still want to hang out with you guys and tell you some of the crazy things that happened. Today's story time is going to take place in London, which is one of the international cities that I went to recently, and it involved just some crazy nights out that make me question turning 30 and if I just have it in my bones to even leave my apartment anymore. So with that being said, let's hop into this story time. All right, so for background, I've been saving up for many years to go to Europe for the very first time, and I did this really fun sister trip with my sister, I'm gonna go figure, and we went to Paris for about a week, and it was the greatest trip of my life. It was something that I've been looking forward to for many years. It's been on my vision boards, my Pinterest boards, my phone background, and I did not get Paris syndrome. It was actually better than I could have imagined. I absolutely fell in love with Paris, but with this sister trip, we definitely balled out. You know, we were getting champagne every night for dinner. We were getting escargot for appetizers and creme brulee for desserts. Basically, financial ruin is upon me after that trip with my sister. But a flight to Europe costs a pretty penny, so I knew I wanted to hit up a second country while I was on that continent. So after my trip with my sister to Paris, I branched off and did a solo leg to London. Now, that backstory is important because I knew I wanted to save a couple coins and go bare bones and stay in a hostel for the very first time. I think I might do a full video on the full hostel experience as a now 30-year-old because I have a lot of thoughts. So let me know down below if that's something you guys would be interested in, because staying in a hostel, oh, it was different, all right. So when researching which hostel I wanted to stay in, I obviously was fine with going super duper cheap. I was fine with sharing a bunk bed, having 10 roommates, because that's what hostels are for. But I also knew I wanted something a little bit more than just a place to bunk. I wanted either activities or a place to meet people, because I've heard all of these great stories of people meeting their best friends in hostels and having international friends that they can go stay with in Ireland and Scotland and other lands that, you know, you meet those people in hostels. So I did want that social element to it. So after doing a little bit of research, I decided to go with... I will actually not be naming the hostel that I stayed in because I do talk about some of their employees and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So while I loved my stay and loved my hostel, I will not be saying the name of where I stayed. What I really liked about this hostel was they had daily free activities from start to finish of the day. So in the mornings, they would take you on a daily walking tour of a different part of the city. So I really liked that they kind of guided you around for free activities throughout the day. So again, we can give my wallet a rest and try to save a little bit of money. Oh, I forgot to put lip gloss on. Dang it. Oh, I'm gonna look so dry. Also, these curls, you guys are in charge of managing the menacing curls that are on my head. They're going haywire today. Anyway, but what also really appealed to me was every night you get together, you play drinking games, and then they take you out onto a pub crawl. So they escort you, they take you on the train, tell you where to go, and then they do this fun little pub crawl. And every single night they go to different pubs, different clubs, and just try to party with you and make sure that you're safe and having a good time. So all of that appealed to me because, again, it was a start to finish itinerary of fun, free activities. I'll be meeting new people. Heck yes, let me book my bunk bed, which was Oh, I gotta do this in another video. I got the top bunk right in the sun with like 8 other people. You can probably hear my voice. I'm sick. I probably just got some sort of international diseases from just everywhere. That'll be for a future video. On to this story time. So the first day that I am staying at this hostel, I immediately hop into the tours. I'm like, yeah, I want to go see this Brick Lane area. I want to go do some vintage market, that sort of thing. So I did some of the daily activities. I kind of branched off on my own, did some exploring, but I met some people from the hostel and they're like, hey, we're going to go to some bars and clubs tonight. Are you in? And I'm like, heck yes, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to like drink and get turned, but like to meet new people and explore like the local side of a city. Ja feel? So on this night, we don't actually do the pub crawl with the rest of the hostel. I kind of got invited along to do a little separate drinking action with this group of people. And I was like, yep, that sounds fun. So we go to this one pub bar. I don't know the difference between a pub and a bar, honestly. I think pub serves food, but like bars serve food. Why don't we have pubs out here? I like that word, pub. We went to the pub. We went to the pub for some silly goose juice. Is that a good London accent? I'm getting off topic, you guys. So we go to the first pub, club, bar, and we're having a good time. And then we end up at this other pub, club, bar. I think it was in a hotel. And they had like music, but not that much dancing. It was more of just kind of like a stand around, drink, and vibe to the music sort of place. So you're in Europe, and a lot of people do partake in the tobacco snackies. So a couple of the people that are with say, hey, let's go outside. I want to smoke a cigarette. Sure, let's go. So we're outside and there's a lot of people outside. They kind of had like a little outdoor area. And that's when we hear this big commotion. And I don't know if punches were being thrown. I don't really know what, but you kind of just see the motion of the crowd where people are separating people. There's a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of aggressive male voices happening. And you hear glass shattering. And so we're all kind of trying to back away from it, being like, what the heck is going on over here? That's when we look over it. And once they peel these groups apart, once they're able to separate all of these people, you just see glass shattered on the ground. And to be honest, I still don't know if it was like a glass cup, if it was a beer bottle, who knows? But there's a guy just dripping in blood from his head. And the aggression had kind of started to die down, but the aggressor, or what from my perspective was the guy who had broken the bottle, was being held back kind of by a couple of people. He was shouting obscenities over there. You can see the guy, he's like bloody and he has blood all over his shirt. The cops had arrived and there's still glass all over the ground, just shattered everywhere. Again, don't know if it was a cup, if it was a bottle, but it looked sharp and painful as fuck. Ow, what the hell? Am I not allowed to swear anymore? But like the vibe, oh God, it was like vibe arsenic when a fight breaks out in front of you, because then it's like, I don't want to party. Like, I don't want to go retell the story to all these other people. So we kind of decide like, hey, let's leave, let's get out of here, let's go to the next bar. And we call an Uber because we're like, let's just get out of here. By the time we're driving away in our Uber, there is at minimum 5 police cars and 2 ambulances. I don't know if the whole bar got shut down or if everybody just left, but we were like, let's get out of here because this is just too much drama, too much going on here, and I don't want to have to make a statement to the London police, so let's go. So that was just night 1, and that was one of those like, oh, that was crazy, but like, fun story. Maybe I'll tell this on my YouTube channel. Little did I know that a couple nights later it would be an even better story. I wouldn't say better. You be the judge of that. You tell me in the comments. But a couple of nights later, after taking it easy for a few nights, I decide to rejoin the hostel friends and partake in their drinking games and their pub crawl that night. So I had been at this hostel for like 3 days now at this point. I think I was staying a total of 6 days in this London hostel. And it was kind of wearing down on you because it kind of felt like summer camp / like being in college where, you know, you're brushing your teeth in the bathroom and people come up and they're like, hey, like, where are you from? What's the next leg of your trip? Like, you're answering the same travel questions over and over again. But I noticed that everybody was like very young, very young. In fact, they actually cut off the age of how old you could be to stay in this hostel, and I think it was 35. And I was like, wow. So I'm already in the decade of age of being discriminated against in the future. That hurts my feelings. But needless to say, I think I was definitely on the older side of the guests of this hostel, but I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I was there to have a good time, so I went down for the drinking game. So how it works is that you bring your own alcohol. They don't provide it for you. You have to go to Tesco's or Sainsbury's, whatever they kept saying, and go buy your own alcohol. And what's funny is that I brought a wine from Paris that I had packed in my suitcase. And I was like, that's a couple pounds. I got to drink that while I'm out here because I don't want to carry it in my suitcase. So like I'm drinking wine and these kids are doing like White Claws and shots of vodka and they're all roasting me for drinking wine. And I'm like, oh man, I guess I am old. This is embarrassing. But so we start playing drinking games, and it was so funny because the first drinking game we start playing is Rage Cage, which is my favorite drinking game with my friends that we have been playing since college. And here the Americans are teaching like all these international kids how to play Rage Cage. I was dying at it. But it's funny because I had to like, there's a big cup in the middle where everybody pours a little bit of their drink in, and the loser of the drinking game has to drink it all. And so I felt bad because I'm the only one like pouring wine in there. Everybody else is like on the same playing field. So sorry to Audrey, actually, who had to drink that. Shout out Audrey, my little chicken. But I'm playing these drinking games. I'm crushing these drinking games, I should mention. It comes with age. I'm like meeting all these new friends, and I kind of start taking them under my wing because almost everybody was in between the ages of 18 and 22. And there were these two kids who I absolutely fell in love with, Audrey and Gavin. They are from America. They're 18 years old, but they can't drink in America. Like they can't go to bars and get drunk. But here in London, that is fully legal. So they were ready to have a good time. So I took them under my wing. I was like, you guys are my little chickens for the rest of the night. I'm here to make sure you're staying hydrated, that you know what to order at the bar. Basically just keeping my eye on them. Same with Claire, same with a couple other people that I definitely took on a very maternal role from the very beginning of the night because of just how old I was compared to other people. Although I will say it is kind of funny. There was one point where we had to like go around and do Never Have I Ever, and somebody said, never have I ever been skydiving. And if you're the only one to have done it, you have to tell the story. And so sure enough, I was the only one who had been skydiving, and they're like, wait, tell us that. And so I had mentioned that I was doing this 30 before 30 bucket list where I wanted to accomplish 30 really cool things before I turned 30. Again, that's been the whole basis of my vlog channel for the past 3 months. And one of the very last items was skydiving. And when I told him this fun fact, there was a little bit of like chitter chatter. They're kind of like, what? And I could see people talking to each other. At the end of the night, people were telling me, we had no idea you were 30. We thought you were like 25. And I was like, what? Who? Little old me? Not like I totally went fishing for young compliments, but thank you, thank you. I don't know what they think 30-year-olds look like nowadays. But that was nice at least that I wasn't sticking out too much like a sore thumb. Maybe it was all just in my head. But for the most part, they didn't think I was as old as I was. But I could feel it because even in these drinking games, everybody is getting progressively more drunk and more bold. For example, this one kid, he started taking shoeies. I don't know if you guys know what shoeies are, but it's where you pour your drink into your literal shoe and drink from your shoe. That kid's from Canada. That's not like some weird foreign international thing. That's a Canadian kid just doing that for funsies. Okay, more power to you. There was another part of the game where I had to baby bird like a little 22-year-old kid, and I had to basically put a drink in my mouth and I had to baby bird, I'm so sorry for this, but like spit it into his mouth. And it was so funny because it was just like, okay, I've got you, young child. It's okay. Like, I'm not going to spill. And so like I baby bird him and he goes, is that wine? And I was like, yes, but it's really good French wine. I just came back from Paris. That's good stuff. Don't waste it. This other really funny part where somebody else landed on the baby bird thing. So the guy had to baby bird it into another guy's mouth, but there was a language barrier and he didn't fully understand. So he full on just ends up spitting it in this guy's face all over his clothes. This poor guy has to go dry off. I don't know if he had to change his shirt, but it was just a wild night from start to finish. But it all started at this pregame where I'm like, oh man, these kids are going hard. Let's see if old grandma here can keep up. So it's time to leave for the first pub. Jesus, I'm already having a stroke at 30 years old. It was time to leave for the first pub, and we go to the first pub, and we're getting some drinks. We took the tube there. I don't know why I emphasized it like that, sorry. We took the tube to this pub, have a couple drinks there, but then for the rest of the night, we're going to this club called Heaven, and I guess this was a very fun gay bar. They have the best music, and on this specific night, it's a staff favorite because this club is just like where all the staff members turn up, get loose, have a good time. So we're all like, cool, let's go to Heaven and have fun. It was also really funny. Throughout the night, they're like, are you guys ready to go to Heaven? And I was like, are you gonna murder us? Is that a threat? But no, it was just a really fun gay bar. So we go to this club and great music. They had some drag shows, great, like super fun time. Some of the group starts getting a little bit separated, but no big deal. I'm kind of sticking with most of the staff members because in my head I'm like, oh cool, like they're our tour guides essentially. They're the ones who made sure we got on the tube, that got to the club, that was doing head counts. Like I kept calling them our camp counselors, which is funny because a lot of my little chickens kept calling me their Europe mom. So I don't really know who's in charge at that point, who gets seniority. But they all are young to the point where like, I don't know if they know the drinking etiquette, but usually like when somebody buys you a drink, you get the next round, vice versa. And a couple of my little chickens kept coming up to me and being like, I'm thirsty. And I'd be like, okay, do you want some water? I'd be like, no, like I'm not drunk enough. And I was like, all right, let me buy you a drink. Long story short, I bought, I think 4 rounds that night for like 6 different people. I was buying shots for people because I kind of felt like responsible for making sure everybody was having a good time. But at the same time, like they don't know the etiquette that like, hey, if somebody buys you a drink, like eventually you're supposed to buy them back one and not just keep accepting free drinks. But at this point I was just like, as long as everyone's having a good time, are you hydrated? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do we need to get you a burger? Like what's going on here? So I was kind of fully embracing my role, but I was also pretty drunk at this time too. So that's when some of my chickens start leaving. They're like, hey, we're going home. We got too turned. Like we're tired. Let's get out of here. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still sticking with the staff members. The group starts dwindling down. But I guess people, they have Google Maps. They can figure out how to get home, I guess. But I was kind of concerned because I was like, we got pretty far from our hostel. And these are like drunk 18-year-old kids. But, you know, when in Rome or when in London, I don't know, you get drunk and you figure it out. And mind you, I'm having a blast. I am dancing. I'm enjoying the drag shows. They were doing a Beyonce set. It was fantastic. I looked down at my phone and it's 4 a.m. And I was like, not only do Londoners serve 18-year-olds, but they also keep their clubs open until 4 in the freaking morning. And that's kind of when the club starts shutting down. And so I was like, oh my God, like it is late. All right, camp counselors, time to rally up the troops and head home. This part's so funny because there's now like, it just somehow dwindled down to me and 3 of the other camp counselor hostel staff members. And they're like, we need food, there's a McDonald's. And I was like, okay, everyone, like, let's all go get McDonald's. So there was a McDonald's open for 24 hours. Thank heavens, they saved our lives. I was also disappointed in the McDonald's. They didn't have anything like super cool and global. They had mozzarella sticks. I got mozzarella sticks, those were pretty good, but like, still kind of the normal menu. I was hoping for some weird like McFish and chips, you know? Getting loud again. Let me calm down. So these girls and I, we get our McDonald's and I'm kind of looking at them being like, okay, how do we get home? One girl's like, my phone's dead. Another girl's like, I don't have my phone. Another girl is too drunk to even function. Then I'm looking around at who I thought were my tour guides and I'm like, oh no, I have to be the one to get the staff back to their workplace. And this is even funnier because one of the girls looks at her watch. She goes, oh shoot, it's 4 a.m. I start work at 6 a.m. We got to get back. My shift starts soon. And I'm looking around and I'm like, aren't you the one in charge of getting us home safely? And these poor drunk girls are just like, oopsies. Bitch, I'm stuck in London. I'm gonna die. Get us home. So I guess I'm the mother of the group now. So I look at the Google Maps and I was like, oh cool, a bus is coming. Like the bus is right here. Like, all right, everybody, let's mobilize. And I'm kind of just trying to control them all, corral them all. We get them all to the bus stop. We had just missed the bus by like 30 seconds. Like we could literally see it driving away. And we're like, okay, cool, no problem. We'll wait for the next bus. It's 4 a.m. Next bus doesn't come for another 20 minutes. These girls are drunk and rowdy, and I forget why I didn't call an Uber. Maybe like, I think it was just the Ubers were way too expensive, or like, I don't even know what was going on. But I have this beautiful cinematic clip of me just sitting on the streets of London with 3 drunk girls as we all silently eat our McDonald's and try to sober up to make it home for their hostel shift. But it was actually so fun because I had some bonding time with the girls. You know, there was one girl where it was actually her last shift, so that's why she went so hard tonight, because she's gonna be moving to another country by come next week. There was another girl who's telling me all of her boy drama. There was another girl who's being like, you're 30, give me all your life experiences. And I'm like, bitch, I'm only 7 years older than you. I'm not dying, golly. But sure enough, 20 minutes later, the double-decker bus comes. I love those things. I rode the bus the whole time. It was just a hoot being in a double-decker bus. But we hop on the double-decker bus and take the bus home all the way back to the hostel. And it was really funny because by the time we arrived back to the hostel, it was 5 in the morning. One girl was like, okay, I'm gonna go nap before my shift. She just went, I don't even know where her room was, but she just left, disappeared. I went to sleep for 17 hours. And I have the Fitbit data to prove it. Because my body, mind you, I've been traveling for 2 weeks at this point. I hadn't drank that much in a very long time. I was not only violently hungover, but just really, really tired that I slept the entire day. And it was so funny because a couple of my chickens, they saw me a couple days later and they were like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, why? They're like, you're in our room. Like, you were in your bunk all day. And I was just like, oh yeah, no. I guess I am old, and with age, I just need to listen to my body and rest when I've had too much alcohol and have to sit on the streets of London eating McDonald's, making sure people get to their hostel shift. But you'll learn about that later, kids. And so basically that's the story of how London pubs, clubs, and bars kicked my ass and made me lose an entire day on my vacation because I just couldn't keep up with these kids. They were just on a whole other level, and I respect them for it. But I have aged out of that partying bracket. What's fun too is that a couple nights later I did go out on their pub crawl again, but it was because I knew it was a jazz lounge bar. I did not drink more than 2 drinks that night. I was still taking care of some of my chickens, and I'm just really glad I met all of them because it was so fun talking and meeting new people. You guys know me, I can't shut up. I love meeting new strangers. And so I wish all of my chickens the best if you guys are watching this. Proud of you guys for backpacking through Europe and traveling the world at such a young age and doing what a lot of us wish we could have done. Like me, I wish I would have done that when I was 18 years old, but lesson learned. So that was just a fun little story time of some of the crazy nights that I had out in London. I am obviously back in Los Angeles, and I have a couple more stories from the past couple of months that I would love to chit chat with you guys. But really, I just wanted to sit down and off the dome tell this story. It's not that crazy. It's not like I saw a fight and I helped girls get McDonald's. It's not that wild, but I just really liked hanging out with you guys. So if you missed me as well, shoot me a comment so I know to keep making more videos because I want to get either back into this or, I don't know, figure out my life after this because I'm tired and broke, so we'll see. But I thank you guys so much for watching. Go follow me on social media if you aren't so you can catch up on all of my travels and adventures. Again, go check out that vlog channel. It would really mean a lot to me if you, I don't know, go binge some of the weird, crazy things that I've been up to. But I thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles! Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Do I like this shirt? Do I look like a nurse? Test. This better be the final look. I don't have it in me to change again. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I don't remember my intro because it's been so freaking long. Hi everyone, I missed you. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Or welcome to it if this is the first, that's it. Golly, I don't remember how to do this.